What's going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets checking back in. We got our Week 7 NFL Live show coming at you guys, as always, with Sidekick picks. How are we feeling this morning, Side?
Feeling good. I think we have some really good picks lined up for everyone today. So should be a good show.
Yes. And we will recap last week's successful show. And as always, before we get going, make sure you guys are checking out props.cash. Use code on the dot for 25% off their monthly subscription. And as always, we'll show you guys how we utilize that platform that we use consistently. And as you guys have seen in my write-ups, with NBA, and we got college basketball coming up, all types of different stuff that you can use props.cash for. So make sure you guys are checking those guys out and signing up for their monthly subscription. Or if you want to just pay annually, I think it's $99.99 for the NBA package currently. All right. And then if you guys do have any comments, and if you guys are on YouTube or Twitch, you guys can throw them in the chat. Make sure if you're on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. As always, we are closing in on 100 subscribers for the channel. Once we get there, it'll be a $100 giveaway. So make sure you guys are subbing to the channel. And if you guys want to pick our brains whenever you want, just join the free Discord in the description below on YouTube. And if you're on Twitter, just go to my link tree and go right into Discord. And it's free to use. Not many people have free Discords, so feel free to get in there and pick our brains with anything that you guys are thinking of. And make sure you guys do have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'd love to hear from you guys. We're going to go over player props that we're on, some same game parlays that we're on, and we are going to go over some DFS strategies, stacks that we'll go. I had a little spike week last week. I won about close to $4,000. I was winning $10,000 until the Dawson Knox last second touchdown, the last drive. So I can't be mad that I was up $4,000, but I could be a little bit disappointed that I didn't win 10. But it's a little bit unfortunate. So I'll share some strategy lineups that I have for DFS. It's going to be a little tricky of a slate. It's not as easy as last week. I lock buttoned just Jamar Chase, and that was a given last week. Back to that stack this week, but I'm not going to lock button anybody for sure currently. All right, so let's get into the recap of last week. We went 5-1. The only one, if you were just paying attention to the stream and the PowerPoints, you wouldn't even have picked the 49ers and Bucks because I didn't even make a slide. And then we got a little ambitious on our end, and both teams lose outright, which was absolutely insanity. Not ideal. But however, we're 21-15. We're basically breaking even. So we're gonna take week 7 and on to go ahead and get in the green here. I've gone back-to-back 3-0s, so do what you want with that. If you want to tail or fade, we'll see. We got Lazard, Alec Pierce, and Kyler Murray, all cash for me. Then we had the 2 same-game parlays for Side that hit. We got the Rams, Cooper Kupp, and then you got Kittle and Kyle J. So nice little 5-1 week. However, we just did miss our 3-unit play because the Bucks and the 49ers were not successful enough. And we got some comments here. Justin says, let's go, boys. Optimism at an all-time high. Absolutely. Every Sunday morning, the optimism is just rampant. And then about 12:15 rolls around, 12:30, and you're like, God damn it. I didn't have that guy in my life.
I'm texting you, and I'm like, the Niners and Bucks, man. Here we go.
Yep. And Corey's got the fire emojis, so we are ready to get after it as well. Also, any late news that I know they just drop at 10:30, so let us know in the comments if you have any of those. I saw that Bateman and Gus Edwards are active this week. And then the big news this morning was Pacheco being the starting running back now for KC.
If you haven't picked him up, pick him up. I did that first thing this morning. As soon as I saw it, I got into all my fantasy leagues and picked them up.
Yep. I woke up a little bit too late in one of my leagues. I picked them up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So not ideal, but I'll take it. All right, so let's get into the first pick of the week, and this is Sidekick's First same game parlay.
Yeah, so I'm sticking with the same strategy here. If you tuned in last week, I'm hitting these at a pretty high rate, and I changed my strategy just because I felt like I was right around the mark it should be, and I just kind of was on the wrong end. So little insurance play for my SGPs. I'm taking CeeDee Lamb over 59.5 receiving yards. Now, again, I think he should hit his mark where the line is. I think it's at, 79?
I was going to pull that up, but I think it is 79.
Yeah, he should hit that. He should hit that mark with Dak coming back. I read a stat today without Amari Cooper in the lineup, which obviously he's not on this team anymore. But when he plays without Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott is the quarterback, he goes off. His numbers are insane. They're playing Detroit. Detroit has a terrible pass defense. They have a terrible rush defense. They're just a bad team. So CD's hit this mark 4 or 5 games with Cooper Rush as the quarterback. So we get Dak back. I think this one smacks. Also parlaying it with Cowboys money line. They should be able to handle Detroit, but who knows?
I like the fact that you took the Cowboys money line here. I think Detroit makes this a game and somewhat of a shootout. This is a DFS stack on my end today. It's a potential shootout. Anytime you're facing the Lions, and then as you'll see the Seahawks, for me as well, those two defenses you have to target on a weekly basis. They are literally they give up everything. And most of the time, those games, especially if they're indoors in the dome, the Lions play a little bit better. This is at the Cowboys here. The CeeDee Lamb's line is actually 74.5. So definitely can see him getting over that initial line, as he'll be in most of my lineups this week for DFS. But really, really like this spot. You tease it down, and then you put the Cowboys money line at plus 110. I don't see how this one doesn't hit in my eyes.
If you're worried about the Cowboys, you can sub in and take alternate line for Dak rushing yards. I think Dak will. I think it's at 50 something for his alternate line, so you can plug that in as well, or just take that instead of Cowboys money line. I think that should hit.
You mean Zeke or
what did I say?
You said Dak.
I'm sorry. I meant Zeke. That's why.
I was like Dak's at 50. Holy cow! All right, so he's talking about Zeke. Zeke's rushing yards. They're perfect. All right, so we got a comment here. Justin says Chuba just announced as the starting running back for the Panthers.
Good.
What do you think about that? Is he fantasy relevant at all? DFS relevant?
I think so. In my leagues, it was a rush to pick up either him or Foreman, especially because my leagues are pretty deep. And anytime you get a chance to snag a starting running back week 7, you got to take a shot. So he's probably already gone in all of your leagues, but if you got him.
Yeah. He doesn't excite me. He doesn't wow me. If you need a running back, I would pick him up. I'm avoiding that backfield this week in DFS completely. I would be surprised if the Panthers score more than 10 points.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't start him. This week, but definitely stash him, see what happens.
Right. All right, so let's get into my first pick of the week. We got Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 touchdown passes. I'm going to go back to the well here on the Packers. I know they've burnt me so many times this year. We were on Lazard last week. He cashed almost.
They're going to get him.
The Jets are good. I'll admit it. They're damn good. And subscriber play is on the Jets this week, so hopefully they don't flip on us and burn us. But no, I would say the industry was pretty shocked at that result last week for the laying of the egg of the Packers. However, do believe Rodgers has a bounce back game here. Again, the touchdowns are going to be there for him. He's going to put the team on his back. Dylan has not been good in the red zone. And he's hit this in 4 of 6 games. You got the 4th highest pass touchdown rate defense against him in the Commanders. I think this could be the Aaron Rodgers show. I'm not stacking this game whatsoever. in DFS, but I could see Rodgers having a pretty good game, maybe 2 to 3 touchdowns, more than likely spread out, maybe Lazard, Dubs, and maybe Aaron Jones as a passing touchdown here. But I like the fact that we're getting a kind of more angry Aaron Rodgers, a little bit more focused, hopefully, and a game that they have to not have to win, but they should win. They're -4 currently, but I like this line here with Aaron Rodgers.
I like your Alan Lazard play again too.
You think he's going to get that this week
I
again?
think so. With no Randall Cobb in there,
What is that at? What's his receiving
I
yards?
think it's right around the same mark he hit last week.
It's not even on DK currently, which is wild.
It was in the
Oh,
fourth.
here. Yes, he's got receptions. No, nothing. They took him off. They couldn't put it low enough or high enough. But currently, this one is at. Where is it at? Pass touchdowns. Oh, here it is. It's at -140. So I got this yesterday at -115. So I guess the public likes this one as well. Justin's got a comment here. Chuba or Donovan Peoples-Jones half-point PPR. What do you got, Side?
Yikes.
That's my thought process too.
Do you have to?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably go Chuba, just because I think he's going to get the ball more. So,
Man, that's tough. Peoples-Jones has been okay. You know, and Brissett's throwing the ball a little bit more than I think people realize.
and the weather in that Baltimore game is going to be kind of nasty again. So,
Yep. Slight lean to Chuba, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not too happy either way. I'd probably do a slight lean to Chuba.
Browns cover today, by the way.
Ooh. All right, we got our next play here. Oh,
Back to the well.
God. Oh, no.
Yeah, there he is. All right, Kyle J over 11.5 receiving yards. I mean, if you just have seen his production, it's gotten better as the weeks have progressed. Last week, I think his numbers were the same. Like his, I think it was 11.5 again. We put in that same game parlay, which hit, and he had 4 catches for 33 yards. So this guy's gone 24, 35, 27, 33 in the last 4 games, getting more involved in this offense. I mean, it only takes really 1 catch from this guy to hit the over, and he's getting those looks. So
Even with the acquisition of CMC, you don't think his role changes too much?
no, because I think the core offense is going to be the same. As in, the formations they're going to run and all that stuff isn't going to change. So, and Jimmy G likes him. So,
yeah, and definitely, I mean, he's going to be on the field. He's their bruiser, basically. He does all the little things that make that offense go. So, yeah, I don't think he loses much playing time with the CMC acquisition. Jeff Wilson owners, myself included, are a little bummed because you don't get Jeff Wilson anymore. This might be the last week. If you have Jeff Wilson, I'd probably still start him if you have to, but I'm not too excited, obviously, the rest of the way. But Kyle J, over an 11.5. He's, what does he catch? 4 straight for you?
straight, yeah.
Let's make it 5. All right, we got and this is not a repeat slide of last week because it was at 45.5 last week, but they just can't set it high enough. I don't know what they're doing with these lines. I'm just going to keep taking it. So it's still at 43.5, -115. I know Hines and Taylor are back. That might even benefit Pierce
I don't know
even
if
more.
Hines is. I think Hines is out.
Is Hines out? I just know Taylor. They both were practicing in full. Taylor's in for sure. Well, I mean, he's at over 60 plus receiving yards in 4 straight games. How this isn't closer to the 50 range, I don't know. Pittman and Pierce should feast in this matchup. The way you beat the Titans is through the air. Who is?
Hines is playing.
Hines is playing? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just going back to the well here. We had a cash cow with Kyle J. We're going to go back here to Alec Pierce, 43.5 receiving yards. I'll ride this until I don't hit it. But, man, 60 plus in 4 straight. Target share has increased, steadily every single week. A thorough piece to this offense. So I really, really like Pierce here.
Yeah,
You're a fellow Colts fan. You gotta agree, right?
Yeah, I like it. I did same game parlay with alternate lines for this one. It's a fantastic game to do this with. So like I have a big lotto ticket with it that I'll post out right after this. But it's got Pierce 3 catches, Pierce 29.5 receiving yards, and then you can get Jonathan Taylor at 54.5 rushing yards today.
54.5. Oh God.
So
yeah,
this is a great game to stack here. So
yeah, they said that Taylor looks pretty explosive as well, so he should be back to normal. It was his choice to sit out in week 6. So
Henry dominates the Colts every week, so throw his rushing yards in there.
Yeah, and he needs 2 touchdowns this week to get the all-time leading rusher in touchdowns in
gets
Titans
one
game
today for sure. That's in my lotto pick too.
Yeah, I have a 2 touchdown parlay with Adams and Henry that I'm throwing out there. So if anybody wants to put that in there. All right, we'll go to our next slide. And as always, guys, if you guys have any questions over player props, DFS, fantasy start and sit, throw them in the chat. We will discuss it. We are here till about 11 a.m. Central Time. So we got about 13 more minutes. Here we go.
So I'm taking Derrick Henry, 9+ receiving yards. I think you can only get it at 10 now, but take it. And then Jonathan Taylor, 6+ receiving yards, and you can only get this at 7+ now. So it just went up a yard for both of these guys. And I think I got it at +100. But either way, good play here. Henry's hit it in 3 or 4 games, and he's hit it in 4 of the last 5 against the Colts. Taylor's hit it in 3 or 4 of his games this year and hit it in 3 or 4 games against the Titans. Both projected way over this, so I feel safe taking alternate lines at it. If you don't like this play, take the alternate rushing yards, combine them. You might even, both these guys should go off today. So really like this spot for both of these. I think it's super low. You can get this on 1 catch.
Yeah, this is one little screen play.
Yeah,
I think they can both get that. You wouldn't think they get too much receiving yards, but those screen plays and overall, they can definitely catch a couple passes and catch this one pretty easily. I like this angle. All right, and then my last play, we're going to go to Mr. Inconsistent. We're going to be on the spike week again for Kyle Pitts. We were back on him in week 3 when he went over 100 yards that week against, I would believe, the Jets. This week, you're getting the Bengals defense, who gives up the 4th most receiving yards to tight end in the league, and Pitts is still owning a 23% target share. We have that total going up 1.5 points, I think, from the time it opened. So I believe there's going to be ball moving throughout this entire game. Pitts, 42.5 receiving yards, I believe, is just a bit too low. I have him at 45.5. I could still see it being 50 to 60. So maybe if you want to ladder that, if you're on FanDuel, maybe ladder it to 60, 50 or 60, possibly 70. But I think he goes off for a big game here. He's going to be part of the offense. You got Drake London and you have Pitts. I know Mariota hasn't been throwing the ball as much as I would like him to, but when he does, it's either to London or it is to Pitts. And the one thing that they have done pretty well this year is run the football, which could set up play action. You get Pitts going, you got London going. So give me Kyle Pitts here for another spike week as we are on week 3. If you had him in between there, you're probably not too happy with taking those bets. But let's get him here in week 7. All right. Any time touchdown players that you're targeting today?
I like Derrick Henry, and I love Brandon Jacobs today.
Brandon Jacobs. Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
There we go.
Everyone's names today. Josh Jacobs.
I was like, damn, we're going way back to the old Giants days.
He might score. But I think Josh Jacobs has an absolute beast of a day. Take his reception yards, take his receptions, take his rushing yards, take him to score.
Yep, I currently have him in 47% of my lineups. He's my second highest exposure rate in DFS.
What's how is he owned?
He's going to be popular. He's going to be very popular.
I figured he would be. I didn't know if you had a number or not.
Let me see if I can pull one up. I mean, he's going to be 20 or 30%. I would believe.
I feel like you have to play. It's chalky, but I feel like you have to just because
the running back position in DFS this week is not as valuable as it was last week. So you're going to have to pay up. The Pacheco news actually opened it up a little bit, and the same with the Jamal Williams with the Swift news. But you're still going to come with some ownership. Right now, they're Occupy currently has them at 33% ownership for Josh Jacobs. So that makes about sense. And if you're going to be overweight on the field like me, you plug them in for about half. All right.
Yeah, I think that Pacheco ownership is kind of strange. I mean, I don't know. I didn't look at it yet, but I don't know what his value is being bought at. But I don't really see him doing too much today.
You don't like Pacheco? I mean,
I like him overall, and I think he'll be a good fit. But
yeah,
I just don't think he's gonna go off.
This is that typical rookie bye week. You get him get him adjusted to the system throughout the season. Bye week hits, boom, you throw him right in there. They've been talking him up so damn much.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried because I think Bosa's back for 49ers, and there's a couple other people that came back for their defense that I thought would initially be out. But man, this guy's a bruiser. He runs very, very well. And CEH hasn't done anything to like. He was overperforming early on in the season, and then he's slowly regressed, and they kind of knew in the back of their head Pacheco's their guy.
Yeah.
And so I like it. I like him today. He opens up the slate for you if you want to have some salary relief at 4,700. Other than that, I mean, you're gonna have to either pay up for running back and then have some cheap receivers to do anything. Because if you're trying to stack that, and we were talking on the Discord, trying to stack that the Chiefs side. I mean, if you put Mahomes and Kelsey in, you're already at a disadvantage. I've been trying to get a pretty good lineup with that, and it's tough. Then if you put Pacheco in there, and then you can come back with maybe some cheap guys.
Just take a Colts tight end.
Colts, which one? That's the problem.
Granson will get decent yards, but Woods and Cox are going to be your touchdown scorers.
Well, yeah, Mo Alley for sure.
They like Woods. Woods has been tearing it up. So, and you probably get him. What is it, like 2,800 or something for him?
Right. All right. So let's flip over to the props.cash platform. I got Pierce's line up, as you guys can see. He's cashed this line for us consistently. Like him again this week, even though Taylor and Hines are back. Let's go to the CeeDee Lamb.
Campbell's another guy. I've been shitting on him for years.
What do you have, 7 catches last week?
He had 11 targets, 7 catches. It's about time. So hopefully we see a little bit more of that production out of him too. Might be a good week to snag his yards, because if he has another big week, that's going to spike too. So
right. What was that line for CeeDee? Was it 59.5?
That's 50. I mean, you can put it there. Yeah, 59.5.
59.5. So yeah, that's the nice part, as always, on this props.cash. So you can get the original line, and then you can, if you're doing alternate lines, you guys can see, just toggle this, or you can click these buttons here, and you can see how. So he's hit this in 4 of 6 games to start the year. And then you can see games with or without Dak Prescott. Put him in there. I mean, I love CeeDee this week. He's what do I got him in my lineup percentage? Let's see, CeeDee. He's in 30%. He's in 30%. Yeah, he's actually kind of underpriced in my eyes.
Schultz is a good one to snag today too. I think his receiving yards is 30.5. Dak loves Schultz. Yep. I know he's got that injury he's coming off of, but I think that's a really good buy low spot. Do have a bone to pick with props though.
What do we got?
hating on Kyle J. You can't find Kyle J props.
Let's see.
Very upset.
Let's see. San Fran, KC. I do not see him in there.
That's right. Hey, everyone's hating on Kyle J. I've had enough of it.
Everyone's saying stay away, stay away. Let's go. So if we go to Kyle Pitts, so it will not look pretty. It will not look pretty whatsoever. But we have been. Sometimes you got to go off of matchups. All right. Sometimes you just have to go off of a little bit of matchups. Let's see if it'll load. As you guys can see, it gives you some pretty good team defense stats. And then you can see all the receiving yards against. Let's see if I refresh this page, if it pops up. Any last questions? We'll be here for about 3 more minutes. I'll recap our picks before we get out of here. As you guys have seen, we are on some props here. We got Dallas, and we have the Joe Burrow stack. Then I'm also going to stack the Chargers side against the Seattle. So lastly, that was my last stack here, and I don't know what is going on with the internet.
You like Chiefs to cover today?
I'm staying far away from that game.
Are you? What about Jets over Broncos?
It is not loading for us currently. What did you say?
Jets over Broncos? That'll be an interesting one. No Russ Wilson. I bet that offense gets going today.
I hope you're wrong. I got the Jets. I got the Jets, so we'll go. So, all right, we'll recap this one slowly. The platform is not loaded for me currently, but we got Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb, same game parlay. Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 pass touchdowns. We got Kyle J again, over 11.5 receiving yards. We got Alec Pierce over 43.5 receiving yards. And we got the same game parlay with Henry and Taylor. And then to finish it off, we got Kyle Pitts over 42.5 receiving yards. So if you guys have enjoyed the live show, make sure you hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe button. And as always, you can join the free Discord in the description below on YouTube or in the link tree on Twitter. So currently, we are going to be back here next Sunday at 10:30. We do have some works in the background where we are working on maybe an NBA show, maybe a college basketball show as that forms up. So we will let you guys know on that news, and we'll let you know if that one becomes available down the road. But let's cash these plays. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. See you guys.
Have a good one.